What's going on is Anton from antondaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. It is 5:47 a.m. and I stayed the night out at the suburbs, but I'm on my way into the office, and I never miss a day going into the office unless I'm out of town or unless I'm taking care of some other business. But very rarely do you see me live streaming in the morning or doing a morning show at home anymore, unless I absolutely have to. I'm getting a delivery, I got something going on, because consistency is the key to being successful in every single aspect of your life. It's only two things that it takes in order to be successful, especially with regard to relationships, money, professionalism, and any aspect of your life is consistency. I've had the same friends, literally the same core friends. Now, we've added people and subtracted people throughout the years, but I've had the same friends since I was in kindergarten. I was just with my homie the other day, and we was talking about how long we've been friends. Some of my homies, I met them in kindergarten. Some of my homies, I met them in first grade, second grade. And then a few of them, I've known them since high school. So you're talking about 20, 30, 35-year relationships. And we all still consistent. We all the same. We all do business together. We all live around each other. We all rock with each other. And I don't have any inconsistencies in my life until really I started getting on the internet, which that's largely not affected me because that doesn't really play a huge role in my real life. But when it comes to content, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to business, I am consistent. And most people think that they have a money problem. No, you got a spending problem. Most people think that they got a relationship problem. No, you have an inconsistent wandering eye problem. Most people think that, oh man, I don't know how to get to this money, or I can't start my business. No, you've started multiple different businesses. You haven't stuck with them long enough to master them and then actually be able to get to the results. And so when I see a lot of people complaining, we can always go back to the core and the root problem. You don't really have a problem learning. You don't have a problem with earning. You make money, you just don't know how to keep it, or you got a spending problem. I'll break it down like this, right? Most people say, I have a problem with relationships, or women ain't this, or men ain't that, or whatever, so on and so forth. And that could be true to an extent, but I always tell them, listen, you only got to find one and then dedicate yourself to that particular thing. And when it comes to relationships, you don't even have to be a master of anything. You just got to be a person that's not easily vulnerable to the whims and the woes of what's going on around you. I'm not even talking about cheating per se, but like a lot of people are being influenced by the people that's around them. You start to give all of your business away to your family members, or you got all of these extra people that's participating in your relationship. What do you think is going to happen when you got 100 people that got opinions about what you got going on inside of your relationship? That's why it's important for you to keep what you got going on in your relationship within the two people that you got. And then when people start to be influenced by advice, and I'm not even talking about cheating or anything like that. When people start being influenced by advice or what they see happening on the internet, or they start applying certain things from people that's not successful in relationships into their relationship, what do you think is going to happen? I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen. You're going to start having a wandering eye. You're going to start taking into consideration what this person is doing and what that person is doing. That ain't for you, bro. That ain't for you. It's consistency, and it's not being distracted, bro, at all. I'm not about to risk my bag over these little funky hoes. How can you say risking and cheating is a rich man's game? That means that man wasn't smart enough in order to be able to keep his bag. And I'm not talking about guys that's super duper rich billionaires that wind up, raising their kids and then they moving in a different way. I'm talking about for every regular day people like me and you. I'm not about to risk my bag over some little funky pussy that I can get anytime. I'm satisfied with the fact that I can get it if I want to. I'm not about to spend no money. I'm not about to spend any of my time on nobody else. I'm going to continue to nurture what I have because we built it together. And then also on top of that, I don't trust nobody. So why would I even put anybody else in a position to mess me up? That's dumb. That's stupid. And that's why I'm 20 years in. Happy, successfully married. My daughter is in a good space. She now understands dedication. She now understands loyalty because she see it. She see it. And that's another reason why I make sure that I get back out to the suburbs a lot of times, is because I need my daughter to see me participating with her mother. It's not just about convenience. It's also about the importance of the messages that you're sending. When it comes to this bag, when it comes to professionalism, right? When it comes to success, when it comes to businesses, Man, I am consistent. A lot of people, they'll say, oh man, I don't know, man. No, you just haven't dedicated yourself long enough to actually be able to be successful when it comes to that thing. Sorry, when I got this camera stabilizer that I got attached, you know what I'm saying? It changes depending on when you're driving and stuff like that, but we'll get through it. But you haven't dedicated yourself. You're looking at every single thing that's around you. Pick one thing and dedicate yourself to it that's going to be, conducive to what you're trying to do, and master it. Put your 10,000 hours in and rock out. Everything else around me got to center around that particular one thing. So for example, when I was going into software engineering, when I was dedicating myself to, leveling up in corporate America, I dedicated myself to leveling up in corporate America. Like, I actually was putting the time in and the work, and I was doing drive-bys in people's offices and making friends and making sure that I did a great job, and I would work on it after work and all of that. Listen, I don't just do no 8 hours and that's the end of it. It depends on what your goals are. If you're just trying to be a regular person, then put your 8 hours in and go home. But if you're trying to be exceptional in whatever field that you're dedicating yourself to, and that don't go just for, corporate America, that goes for business. You know what I'm saying? When I decided to get into the content creation game, that's why I retired at 37. I had ran up a bag. I had invested in myself when it came to real estate. My companies was doing well. And so I was in a position to really capitalize off of the fact that, content creation was the thing that I had said that I was going to do 10 years in. When I got into the content creation game, I said, I'm going to do this thing for 10 years. I'm going to give everything I have into this thing for 10 years. If it don't work out after 10 years, 20,000 plus hours putting into it, then I know that I'm just not good at that thing and I just don't resonate with the people. And lo and behold, crazy. If you tapping into the Patreon, link is in the description. If you tapping into the Patreon, and the type of bags that we busting down. We making millions of dollars every single year off this shit. And it's not because I'm the greatest at what I do, but it's because I did it long enough to actually realize that I was great at a niche within this particular sector that's going to allow for me to be able to extract the money out of it. And so it's consistency. I go into the office every day, an office that I rent out. I spend my money. I reinvest back into myself, into the content or whatever, because I know that I'm 100% focused and I have zero distractions when it comes to what I do. Even when it comes to the fact that I have a corporate position, because I took, I got to get all money in. Everything still is around the content creation because I'm still dedicating myself to this content creation. And so I move everything else around it. And if it goes to the point to where I can't do both at the same time, then guess what? I'm going to let go of corporate America, even though the bags are incredible. I'm going to let it go. Why? Because I'm dedicated to this thing until I'm not, until I decide that I want to master something else. And so, most people are easily distracted. I was sitting in a restaurant the other day with my wife. We went out to breakfast. And so we was sitting next to a couple that was over here, and me and Rita, we was having conversations or whatever, and I seen them just scrolling on TikTok, just scrolling. They had no conversation for each other. Then when they finally started having conversations shortly before we left, everything was about what it was that he seen on TikTok. They didn't have no other conversation about anything other than what it is that they seen on TikTok. So you mastered talking points from YouTube and TikTok, but you haven't mastered yourself. You haven't mastered your craft. You haven't dedicated yourself and put enough time, effort, and energy into the thing that's actually going to make you some money and manifest greatness within your relationships. But you mastered watching the NBA. Y'all know all of the NBA stats. You know more about LeBron than LeBron know about LeBron. But then you trying to figure out why you can't get your life together because you mastering something that he making money off of. You didn't master something that was a part of yourself. And so y'all gotta start prioritizing and removing the distractions. That's all it is. It's consistency and not being distracted. Consistency in your relationship and not being distracted by what else is going on all around you. She got a big ass, cool. She got a big ass. I ain't never gonna see that hoe again. I don't really care nothing about her. You see what I'm saying? It's consistency and removing the distractions. Put in your 10,000 hours, dedicate yourself. Pick one. Just pick one. Pick a hoe and rock out. Okay, cool. I'm with it. I rock with it. I ain't tripping about it. All right, we got into it. Keep it moving. I ain't even tripping about that. I'm just going to keep it moving. Cool. I told my chick when we got together, the foundation of our relationship is the fact that I'm going to dedicate myself to enjoying the part about you. I'm going to spend 98% of my time enjoying the things that I like about you, and the 2% I'll figure that out later. The 2% that I'm having a problem with, we'll figure that part out later. I'm not about to spend all of my time focused on something that ain't add no value into my life. I'm not about to be arguing all day long and getting into it and beefing and all of that stuff, man. That's for the birds. Y'all can have that. Y'all can have that. I'm going to focus on the things that actually add the most value into my life. So hopefully this add value into your life. And hopefully I gave y'all a little bit of game of how I look at life. I simplify things. It's very, very easy because I've simplified it and I made it so that I can understand it. That's why my brand is looking at things from a C student's perspective. Once I understand it, once I dedicate myself to it, ain't nothing you can do about it but wait for me to get there. It may take me a little bit longer than other people because maybe you're smarter than me, but you're not more dedicated than me. You're not going to master it the way that I'm going to master it, and I'm going to make more money than you. And that's my sentiment for it. I'm going to stick with it. My daughter is going to be in a great space. My marriage is going to last forever. I just got this mentality that you can't tell me that I'm not going to be great at it, because if I put my time into it and I dedicate myself to it, how can I not? And even when people be, they predicted, oh, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if that chick. Man, listen, I don't have the mentality that anything is going to happen negative to me because I dedicate myself to the best of it. And so that's just my sentiment. That's how I look at things. That's how my demeanor is. And that's how I go about approaching life. I love you guys. I appreciate you. I'm about to head into the office. I'm going to holler at you later. Peace.